investigation into the bridge that collapsed in Isabela, we started out 2 points. Outrage na nangyari to, and outrage bakit walang preventive suspension, walang madalian investigation. In the meantime, nag-imbestiga sila. They took our recommendation. So even before formal recommendation of the committee, yung ating recommendation ni Senator Joel Villanueva sa hearing na magbuo sila ng team, ginawa nila. So they will present that today. But personally, aside from listening to the report, bakit bumaksak yung bridge, I will also be focusing on kung may mga defects yung bridge, may mga palpak, paulit-ulit, may mga repair, bakit ang gobyerno pa nagbayad ng repair instead of yung contractor? So parang initially lumalabas, palpak ang pagkagawa or design at kasalanan ng contractor at dapat gawin niya to, binayaran pa ng gobyerno, nag-alat pa ng pera, siya din ang nakakuha ng kontrata, kumita pa siya sa palpak niya. So, ito ay worse sa priniprito ka sa sariling mantika, di ba? Prinito ka sa sariling mantika, nagka-problema, dinimanda mo pa yung nagprito sa'yo, kumita ka pa ulit, di ba? So, having said that, I'll answer questions now or after the hearing, but we're going to look at individual roles of the different officials. And I'm happy that the higher ranking from the Secretary to the head USECs are all here today. So hopefully, 1 or 2 hearings matapos natin ito. Or maybe the other senators will ask to join after the elections. So we might still have a hearing after the elections. So tomorrow, May 1, is Labor Day. Around the world, either Labor Day or International Workers' Day. Allow me to read the preamble of our Philippine Constitution. No? Sabi ng preamble ng ating Philippine Constitution, and let me emphasize, ito po ang damdamin, aspiration, ito po ang pangarap, panaginip ng bawat Pilipino. We, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of Almighty God, in order to build a just and humane society, and establish a government that shall embody our ideals and aspirations, promote the common good, conserve and develop our patrimony, and secure to ourselves and our posterity the blessings of independence and democracy under the rule of law and a regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, and peace, do ordain and promulgate this Constitution. So, nakadescribe dito kung anong klaseng society at gobyerno dapat meron tayo. Ano ang pinag-uusapan natin perennially pagka May 1? Hindi po ito napupunta parati sa minimum wage. Actually, kung titignan mo yung Constitution, ang pinag-uusapan sa Constitution, living wage. Di ba? Kaya, of course, nagpapasalamat ako sa mainstream media because every time maglabas ang NEDA o gobyerno, and I'm not talking about this administration alone, all the administrations, even the administrations I've supported, di ba? Pag naglalabas sila na 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 is enough for one family, di ba? Through you sa media, nag-i-interview kayo, nagre-research kayo, pinapakita na imposible naman ata na isang pamilya ay mabuhay sa minimum wage na yan, di ba? Renta pa lang, tubig, kuryente, wala pang internet, wala pang gamot, wala pang pag-aaral, pamasahe, hindi na kasya yan. So, the Constitution does not talk about a minimum wage. It's about a living wage. So, where does the problem come in? The problem comes in whether it's at the regional wage board, the tripartite board that determines kung magkano yung minimum wage, or sa national or legislative sa atin. Parating sinasabi ng big business na lalo yung micro, small, medium enterprise baka magsara, yung mga nagsisimula pa lang baka magsara, yung mga mag-i-invest sa atin na labor-intensive, baka lumipat ng bansa pag tinaas mo masyado yung minimum wage. Sasagot naman ang labor ng, kung totoo yun, bakit pataas ng pataas yung profits nyo? So it's an endless debate, di ba? So our problem is not only the solution, but ano ang mekanismo to get to that solution? And when I was meditating about this, praying about this, I realized na ganun din sa edukasyon. From the Philippines being number 2 only to Japan in our region, to going down to the bottom two, bottom three in many things, including economics and education, dalawang commission ang nakatulong sa atin. EDCOM 1, EDCOM 2. Di ba? So kung ang corruption at commission na illegal ang nakasira sa atin, yung commission na totoo, na may commissioners ng nagko-contribute at hindi nangungupit. So yung EDCOM 2, aware kayo dyan kasi panahon na natin yan. Yung EDCOM 1 kay Senator Ed Angara, and even as new congressman, binasa ko yung summary. Malinaw, madali, implement mo, sana naayos, di ba? Nag-K-12, nag-pandemic, lalong gumulo, but kayo mismo nagre-report ng EDCOM 2. So ano ang proposal namin ni Senator Pia, and I'm discussing this also with the Senate President, a Labor Commission or LABCOM, di ba? Kung lab natin ang Pilipinas, kung lab natin ang ating laborers, kung gusto natin yung mga OFWs, dumating ang araw, hindi na kailangan mag-abroad, we have to have a Labor Commission. Anong difference? Instead of a purely congressional Labor Commission, I propose a Legislative Executive LABCOM. So, 3 commissioners from Congress, 3 commissioners from the Senate, yung cabinet na members na involved, NEDA, DTI, labor, and migrant workers, and then we can get 2 from big business or from the employers, and 1 or 2 from micro, small, medium enterprise, and 2 from the labor sector, di ba? Kasi makikita mo po dun sa EDCOM, so I'm not criticizing ourselves per se, maraming pinapasa ang Senate at House, pero committee hearings natin, dahil 24 lang kami, kahit na major yung bill, 2-3 beses, di ba? Tapos, mag-interpellate a few hours, and then pag na-veto, ulit na naman. Pero yung EDCOM, nakita nyo all throughout the year, every week, 1, 2, 3 meetings, the best minds na nakukuha, di ba? So, nakita nyo nung umpisa nung administrasyon na to, ng Senate na to, hanga ako kay Senator Robin magpatawag ng hearing sa federalism. And he really got best minds na pro and con, di ba? But despite that, walang consensus kung dapat mag-charter change at mag-federalism o hindi. Pero tignan nyo po yung EDCOM. Because we had the right people and it was multisectoral at hindi lang isang senador, we're coming up with solutions na ginagawa na, no? And so later on, I'm also looking into an EDCOM 3 na kung saan kung pwede legislative executive na. Kasi 2 sa 3 ngayon, CHED, DepEd, and TESDA. So ang Director General ng TESDA at ang head ng DepEd were senators and congressmen. And we're active sa EDCOM, di ba? So, CHED. So, I'll go to that later on. Baka after the election, we can discuss that. But, dito ko nahugot yung idea ng LaborCom na one final statement. If you say na, sir, okay naman yung tripartite, sir, tumataas naman yung living wage, okay. Pero bakit yung standard ng living sa ibang bansa, naayos nila? Bakit sa Japan, for example, hindi mahirap ang taxi driver, ha? May sariling bahay, nakakabakasyon. Pag tinanong mo yung taxi driver, for example, sa Singapore, saan ka nagbabakasyon, sasabihin sa iyo, Thailand, Germany, Sweden, di ba? So, but sa atin, hindi makapagbakasyon ng 2-3 araw kasi isang kahig, isang tuka. So, yes, it's not all living wage. It's also magkano tubig, kuryente, may internet ba, may education, health. But the living wage is a big part of it. So I'll stop there, but yan ang sanang maliit na contribution namin ni Senator Pia and myself, and tulong ko kay SP sa administrasyon niya sa Labor Day. No? Na it's not a solution. So I agree, kung may mag-criticize tomorrow, boss, hindi solusyon yan, hindi makakain yung sinabi mo. Pero ang problema nga, paikot-ikot na lang tayo. Parati na lang pag Labor Day, o anong malilibre ba natin MRT, LRT, may i-announce ba tayo na bonus, ganyan. Pero yung main issue of a living wage, we've never gotten to it, no? And the EDCOM really inspired me. The people there, I mean, whether you talk about Senator Win, Senator Joel, Senator Chi, Senator Pia, who was part of it, but I'm talking about the staff, and the private sector group na kinuha nila. Amazing yung ginagawa. So hopefully sa labor magawa natin. Ma'am.
Given kunwari magkaroon ng labor commission na gusto nyo, na pinopropose nyo, what happens to the legislated wage hike? Magkakaroon pa rin po ba? At magkano po, sir, yung living
Yes.
wage?
Kasi yun nga ang problema dun sa legislative wage hike. Hindi magkaroon ng consensus. O mapasa ng House, hindi mapasa ng Senate. Mapasa ng Senate, hindi magpasa ng House. Sino naman ang pumasa ng mataas, ina-accuse ng kabilang House, nagpapabango lang kayo sa labor, pero hindi naman kaya yon. Then when you talk to the business sector, they talk in general. In general, hindi kakayanin ang ganito, di ba? So the labor com will not talk in generalities. It will come out industry specific. Magkano talaga ang sahod sa Japan, sa Thailand, sa Vietnam? Bakit ang Vietnam nagawa to? But that's why I included NEDA and DTI. Kasi, for example, sabi mo yung living wage, kasama dapat sa living wage mo is education ng mga anak mo, health ng buong pamilya. Pero kung maayos naman natin ang PhilHealth at tunay na zero billing, hindi ka naman dapat gumastos na sa wage mo. So I do agree that when you talk about the living wage, hindi lang natin pinag-uusapan yung employer at yung employee. But ganun din, for example, man, di ba, sa atin, sabi nila, di ba, yung Chinese Filipino, but around the world, even the Indian descent, tayo lang yung ano trabaho, sila ano negosyo, Di ba? But in those countries where they ask ano negosyo, meron silang matatap na kapital Pwedeng mangutang sa atin kasi yung utang 5-6 Di ba? Mabuti pa yung Phil-Chi na Filipinos yung Filipino-Chinese. Kapag kapwa ka Filipino-Chinese, may scholarship, may utang, kung halimbawa Filipino-Chinese ka, sumali ka sa grupo nila, nagbebenta ka ng bottled water, yung isang nila supplier, hindi Filipino-Chinese, pag sinabing, ipantay mo na lang, I'll give you an opportunity. So, walang government program or at least hindi effective kung saan yung small entrepreneur. So, ngayon, lahat nasa ayuda na Di ba? So, you have 600 billion in ayuda but you don't have much projects. Halimbawa, paano yung kalenderya maging restaurant? Or paano yung sari-sari store maging mom and pops or maging 7-Eleven, di ba? So, the living wage is more than just magkano yung sweldo. It's a comprehensive look at ano ang gastos ng bawat pamilya. Di ba?
Sir, other issue. Nag-participate kayo actively dun sa investigation ng Committee on Foreign Relations tungkol sa pag-aresto kay former President Duterte. Are you convinced dun sa findings na it is politically motivated and then dun sa recommendation na imbestigahan ng ombudsman ng ilang executive officials including DOJ Secretary, DILG Secretary, and others?
Honestly, I'm still reviewing. Media reports pa lang, hindi ko pa nakikita yung report. May sarili ako mga observation, but as I told you, I want to remain independent in the sense na tama-tama, mali-mali, and not partisan. But ang main focus at concern ko ngayon is maging malinaw na kahit sinong Pilipino, yan man ay nasa progressive group na kaliwa, yan man ay nasa kanan, katulad nila Senator Bato, ay hindi pwedeng basta't pick upin at i-export. Kasi mag-export ka nga ng goods sa Pilipinas, may permit ka pa May dadaanan ka pa Pero ang Pilipino, pag in-export mo, pwedeng ganun na lang. Yun ang main concern ko. Kung magkaka-consensus, yung sinasabi kasing hintayin natin Supreme Court, yes, in far as that is the law. But the government can make a policy decision. The executive can say na, from now on, pag any international group ay gusto nilang padala sa kanilang bansa, ay kailangan dumaan muna sa local court, i-validate yung warrant, tignan kung may probable cause, kung crime dito din yung crime na sinasabi nila. Yun ang mas focus ko ngayon. But give me a few days to read the report and to look into all of it. I mean, I made my views naman known. I just want to be more judicious sa words ko. And but you know naman how I feel. But it's not a matter of how I feel. It's really about himayin nga yung batas. And personally sa akin, yun nag-udyok sa akin magsalita Nung nakita kong nasa airplano at hindi pa nagte-take off yung airplano, I was hoping that if enough of us spoke, mahimasmasan yung gobyerno na hindi mo pwedeng i-export ang Pilipino. Isakay doon at kailangan may chance siyang pumunta ng korte. So right now, yun ang focus ko kasi katulad ni dating Senator De Lima, di ba, pagka may kaaway, ang sinasabi lang, Bato, dapat kasama ka dyan. Alan, kadibati, dapat kasama kita dyan. So, para bang tinatakot kami na anytime pwede kami isama tapos i-export, di ba?